Mexican gangs known as posses are now dominating the American drug trade.
Mourning his partner who recently died in the line of duty, Drug Enforcement Administration Agent John Hatcher, played by Steven Seagal, confesses to his old pal Keith David, a high school football coach, that he has decided to retire. Then Chicago drug lord Screwface, played by Basil Wallace, puts out a hit on Hatcher's family. Now thirsty for vengeance, this grizzled man of action fearlessly returns to the fray. And when the skittish Screwface flees to Jamaica, Hatcher and Max are in hot pursuit. Hey folks, man, this is Monk, and we are back with another episode of Classes of Cinematics. I'm joined as always my co-host. We got Bobby Blockbuster.
Yo, yo, yo.
Yeah, today we got a special one, man. Today we're going to be looking at Marked for Death from 1990, man. And this is a Steven Seagal starring vehicle, man. And this is a wild movie, man. I kind of put this in that so bad is good territory, where most of my fun about this film is laughing at the flaws and accuracies, and it's not a good film, man. It is an action police film, but it's really rough around the edges, man. This is probably being put out in probably in the upper middle of Steven Seagal's rise to VHS video fame. And I do remember seeing this in a 99-cent theater, Flower Avenue. Shout out to that joint. You know, my mom would take us there to see these films. And this one had some buzz. I remember when hearing them talking about this on Entertainment Tonight. It originally was supposed to be called Screwface. You know, after the villain in this film.
It wasn't, I mean, this one came out immediately after the first film. What was that? We were just talking about it. It wasn't Under Siege.
I think it was Above the Law.
Above the Law, yeah. Mm-hmm. And I mean, and that one actually really pulled numbers. And at this point, like, Steven Seagal was supposed to be that up and coming new action hero, you know. So this was riding off that tide, you know.
Yeah. They were getting really good returns, you know, putting out these cheap action films, and especially on the VHS, you know, rental tip and sales. And he was definitely a star of that era, you know.
He was, and it's wild too, because like watching this now, I can't understand why. Like his acting was kind of like it was kind of subpar.
We also were used to this kind of stuff, man. Like a lot of this stuff was really just newer, and some of the better things that we would get, you know, based on these lines. Like it's a formula that's been dug to death, drug into the ground. Even before he comes out, this is just essentially a Dirty Harry film with a dude that could do kung fu or some shit.
Well, yeah, you know, I think like, what is his
and the bad guy of the week, you know, kind of thing.
Yeah, his particular brand of karate, I think it was called Aikido or something. And you know, I was reading some notes, dog, and there was apparently he said that his brand of karate made him immune to getting choked out. Like L'd out, right? And so on the set of this, somebody put that theory to the test and L'd his ass out. I think his name was something Lagreen or something like that.
Man, I always
L'd him out.
I always get wary of the on-set fight stories, man.
Yeah.
Every film kind of has these things, or every guy that's supposed to be badass has a story about someone humbling.
Yeah,
I
mean,
I don't know.
It was funny. What stood out to me is my man. If there's any truth behind this, how he could think that he was immune to getting choked out. I mean, that's kind of something.
He's definitely full of shit, bro. Like as a human being in general, but like he's kind of a bad guy too, man. Like in real life, like he's not a good man.
Well, and you see
see
that in his demeanor in this film. I'm not the biggest Steven Seagal fan. I'm not gonna sit here and bash on him. But he's got that like too cool for school attitude. Like he comes off like he's really just like above everybody else. I don't know if it's because of his knowledge in the martial arts, or he's just kind of like a prick, or it's because he got that overly long ponytail and makes him cooler than everybody else.
This is the longest ponytail in any movie, bro, that he's ever had. I think this is the record. If we bring out Carl Guinness, we could probably put this down as the longest ponytail.
Time.
Yeah, and it's got some bounce to it, man.
It does.
Like, you know, so
it does.
But like I said, man, I think that's probably was his appeal. His cool, calm. He's bigger than all and above it all, and that's what helped him, you know, become the star. Because like it's I feel like every few years, you know, we pick a guy. You know, and this just was happened to be his turn. I mean,
he got his straw picked. Yeah,
before it was Chuck Norris. Clint Eastwood was doing these. Charles Bronson,
John
Claude Van Damme. And this is typically just a police kind of thing, man. It's low budget. It's just here to give you some thrills on a Friday night. Nothing deeper than that. And,
one thing I will like compliment about like the fights in this. I like how, like, with his particular style of martial arts, it seems like he uses people's body weight against them. Like, they rush him, and he does this
style.
Extra.
Yeah, that is the nature of that style.
It makes it look a little more natural, like
a
realistic
little bit with judo
in a
too.
sense.
Yeah, but essentially, this guy, in the beginning, he's doing a job. It looks like he's in Mexico, somewhere like that. His partner gets killed. And he's been working in drug enforcement branch of the law. Mm-hmm. And essentially, he's become disillusioned, especially after his partner died. And he realized, like, die for nothing. This stuff's going to continue. We take out one guy, 3 more pop up to take his place. And my guy died in a shitty hotel in Juarez or something.
And if you die, you don't get merit either. It's like you're just another, what do they call it? Like
another cog in the machine, man.
Yeah, there you go.
You're nothing. And he realizes just how I do applaud it for that, man. That's probably the highest level of close to any thoughtfulness being put in this film at all. Is that commentary on the war on drugs? So he quits. It is funny, man, because we get that the scene. The boss is like, "Oh, please stay," and I'm like, "This is wild, bro." Just watching the boss beg. We need you. We need you.
You're our best guy. Oh, well, how are we going to do this without you? But the coolest thing about that is, like, it's either immediately after that or right before that. You see him in a confession booth talking to a priest, and my gosh, my man was like, "I've done it all. I've slept with women. I've done drugs. I've done a lot of illegal stuff." It's like, dude, you're a scumbag.
But see, that's one of the check marks of this genre. The confessional, the religious imagery.
That's true.
And this time we get to Catholicism. This joint hit up like 3 joints in this movie. So we get to Catholicism, confessional. I love, like, it's. I feel like it's requirements for the genre. Like, if this film didn't have that, I'm gonna not be enjoying it as much, because that's something for me to laugh at. I'm like, oh, check. Yeah, it's just cliche. It's cliche.
This like, between like the mid to late 80s to early 90s, if you want to make it something seem extra bad, extra just evil, you sprinkle some voodoo on it. Yeah. And it's terrible. Like, it's like, why is everything that's so wrong with the world or this portrayal of the ultimate evil? What does it have to do with voodoo?
We'll get to that in a bit. So my man goes back to his hometown. He's chilling, meets up with his whole buddy, which is crazy to me. So seems like since he's been gone, this Jamaican gang has moved into the town, and they're trying to spread their wings and get a little bit of foothold in the territory. And I love this scene, bro. These high school students in the suburbs are smoking crack on the high school bleachers while practice is going on in the school, and I'm just like, this is amazing. Like, and it's just passing a crack pipe around like it's nothing. At first, he's got some weed, but this is like the fastest gateway drug transition I've ever seen in my life.
And my man sold it too. He was like, you want to feel irie, everything's good. Smoke this crack. We ain't doing shit.
Yeah, I think he told one of them, "Don't worry, be up in my."
Yes.
Like, oh,
it make me want to make love all the time. It's like, oh wow, they selling it.
So he meets up with his homeboy Keith David, and they exchange, pleasantries, but then Keith David looking off in the sides like, you see these motherfuckers? Like, Keith David on it, bro. Keith David is like on some get off my lawn.
Yes.
He's that.
What are they doing in the bleachers?
He's that guy in the suburbs that's calling the police on the UPS driver because he don't feel like it look right.
And it's cool because like Keith David is actually like the high school football coach, and he tells Seagal, he's like, back in the day, the only thing I used to have to worry about is one of my kids knocking some young girl up. Now I got to worry about him ODing on crack.
He's doing a lot. So, oh man. All right. This is one of the things too about this movie. The cultural representation is horrible. It's kind of racist.
Yes.
It's kind of bleeding into this suburban xenophobia of worrying about the urban crime element is going to come to the nice community all of a sudden. And then you got the Jamaicans, man. This is it's entertaining to me, but they did these guys wrong. The representation is horrible. The accents are horrible. The outfits
are horrible. I mean, we can just keep going and going and going. I mean, like, and then also for these to be like the most Goonies ever, they can't fight worth a lick.
Nah,
you know what I'm saying? They can't shoot right. And then, I mean, you got the big bad in Screwface, and every time he starts talking, you want to start laughing because he's really trying to be serious with his evilness, but it's like it seems so over the top.
You know what? When I was younger, it worked on me because I didn't really know much about Jamaicans. You know what I'm saying? I heard my mom would wake up on Sunday and clean the house playing Bob Marley's Legend. That's all I got. But I was like, yo, I'm watching this, and now that I watch it now, I laugh, bro, because it's just so much. And the messed up thing is, a bunch of the Jamaican actors, including Jeffrey Anderson Gunther, he's one of the goons. Basil Wallace, who played Screwface, they were actually born in Jamaica. Yeah. But then I read Basil Wallace was born in Jamaica in 1951, moved to the States as a child. So I'm guessing his Jamaican accent, his coming from spending Thanksgiving with his family, probably, and then going back to LA to work on his acting. Like,
you know, and that's another thing too, because I was like, yet again, I was diving into this. I had to find something to scoop out as far as, like, you know, just trivia wise. And they said that Tom Wright, he was the FBI agent that was also Jamaican descent and chasing after Screwface.
Oh, I love that dude.
He's great.
Who is he though?
That's Tom Wright, the actor.
Yeah, but he looks familiar. Like he's.
Oh, he was the guy from Tales from the Hood, the one who comes back. Yeah, he was that guy, the one that the cops unjustifiably killed.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this dude, he actually said that Steven Seagal was so, like, methodical with his process. He wanted all the bad guys to have, like, some kind of Jamaican origin or be able to speak Jamaican. So Tom Wright, what he did is he came in and he had his accent going the whole time, all through filming, through when he was trying out for the role and everything. Mm-hmm. And then after all was said and done, like, he told Steven Seagal, he was like, "Yeah, I'm not really Jamaican. I'm from, I think it's like from South Carolina or something." And no, I'm sorry, he's from New Jersey. And Steven Seagal was so butthurt, he just, like, gave him that Seagal stare and then turned around and walked away. Never spoke words to him again. He felt jaded that my man actually had to play the role to get the role. You know what I'm saying?
He did a good enough job. He don't got enough lines, like, but he's essential here in the third act for me.
He is.
But so, you know, the craziest thing, man. So it seems like a war is going on here. Who's the other? Were they Colombians? The other side?
Yeah, it was like some kind of cartel.
Cubans? This gets wild, man.
They don't really specify.
Well, anyway, this is the wildest part of me. So, what's his name? Johnny? Hatcher is.
Hatcher. That's Seagal.
Yeah. John Hatcher. Johnny
yeah.
and Max. They go get a drink, and all of a sudden, man, and the same thing. I love Keith David in this, man. Keith David is like. He reminds me man, I'm getting like Republican vibes from this guy. He's on it. It's like everybody's having a good time. They're drinking out. This bar look like it's crunk, but they playing like some Achy Breaky Heart type shit in that joint. Like it's like that 80s.
That might be the flow of the time. Yeah,
but they having a good time in there, man. My man keep coming in. He flirting with the bartender.
Yeah,
he's like, make it a double.
He's like, I don't do doubles on the first date.
He's like, that's not what I heard. It's great. I love it. This is the shit that makes the film tolerable for me, man. I love it. But then and he sees the Jamaicans and he's like, "Oh, look at these motherfuckers." And it is funny to me because he's doing this shit. Every time I see him, something bad going down, my man. You can see the hand.
Yeah, they're all out in the open.
But then, for some reason, I don't need. This is crazy to me. The other gang, I don't know if they're Cubans, Colombians, whatever. They coming in. He's looking at them funny. He's like, "Oh man!" But then you realize, so the Jamaicans, they're encroaching in on these guys' territory. All of a sudden, a shootout breaks out. I don't know where they get the heat from. All of a sudden, I'm seeing AK-47s. They got the typewriters. They got everything in this thing. Yeah. And it's a big ass shootout. It's amazing. And then it's funny because before that happens though, there's an interesting part. I think Keith David said, or does he say that at a sports game? Because Seagal's like, man, it's pointless, man.
No, that's after. That's well after. Because what it was right before the club scene is you see Screwface and I guess the top dog from the Colombians or whatever. They're having a sit down, trying to establish this territorial breakdown and who's going to get what piece of the pie. And Screwface is like pretty much like, hey man, it's 80-20. 80 me, 20 you, and the other dude is like, man, he's not having that.
This is before the bar
thing. This is before the bar thing. Yeah. And then he goes and he sees, a young woman that I guess also does some form of voodooism in some way, and then she puts a curse on Screwface, but Screwface knows that because I guess his powers are stronger than the other powers, and all that stuff. So then he wages war on him, and the first step of that was to clear him out of the bar,
Yeah, because it looked like the Jamaicans got this bar locked. Because like I said, the way they pull these guns out of thin air,
they deep too.
It was crazy to me.
Yeah.
This don't make no sense, bro. Like, how do this sounds like they had a room in the back for themselves. Which is wow, VIP.
I mean, the
logistics don't hold up, man.
No, the only gun that should have got snuck into the club was the one that we see Steven Seagal clean out. It's a little palm pistol. It's like pew pew, little pea shooter.
It's like a plot hole, man. But for something like this, I'm cool with it because I don't expect
for this.
I don't expect much from this. But so they go to war. And they realize that Hatcher, because he intervenes in that bar scene, he beats up a couple of the Jamaican guys.
He does.
No one but Seagal can fight in this movie.
Yes.
No one has hands. This is ridiculous. No one.
So, and like I say, he's out there like soccer dad style, just real slow, bing, bing, bing.
So that puts the white boy Acha on their radar.
On the radar.
He's like, bring me the white boy Acha.
Yeah.
So of course, the way these guys operate, they go after the family, and then, they send a message to Seagal's house. They go there for him, but he ain't there.
They spray the house up.
I think it's his sister.
It's his sister's house, yeah. And that's where they stand.
They hit her with the voodoo ritual, which is crazy.
Before that, they spray the house up.
Oh, yeah.
Spray the house up, then the niece gets hit. And, she's in a coma or whatever. And, Seagal tells the doctors make sure they treat her like the president. Mm-hmm. And then they kidnap the sister, try to hit her with the voodoo ritual.
But here's a crazy thing.
On that as well.
Here's a crazy thing. Jamaicans don't practice voodoo.
Right.
Like, this is so crazy to me. But it flew in the 80s. Just nobody did the research. But also, that's why I say this film's racist. Because they didn't even bother to check this out, but also for them to figure that this would be something to amp these guys up and make them even more scarier. When they already scary, they're already violent. Like if you look into
They could just be
if you look into
like straight goons. They don't need the voodoo.
Yeah, you look into the things like Jamaican Shower Posse. They were known for being violent, and that's all you needed. You didn't have to add this crazy voodoo element. But also, this is an era we had Serpent in the Rainbow come out. I'm not sure when that came out, but it was around this time. You know what I'm saying?
Serpent in the Rainbow, Zombie. I mean, we've covered some of these films too.
Serpent in the Rainbow came out 2 years before that. So they're throwing that on top of this, but it's crazy to me because this. Voodoo is a Haitian thing, man. You know what I'm saying? And it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just it's a mashup of African spirituality, Catholicism, and Christianity. You know what I'm saying? It's not an evil thing at all. It's just how they express their religion. You know what I'm saying? So to throw that in here is something to make these guys even more terrifying. Even on the Hispanic side, I don't know if that was Santeria this woman was doing.
Yeah. She's bathing in milk with roses in it, spitting vodka on chicken, and smoking a cigar.
Part of it is a little bit offensive, but a part of it is like on the entertainment level, on the B-movie level, I kind of expect you to have that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I've ever seen a spiritual
showdom.
Like they was going back and forth. You see their sorcerers. And then Jamaican sorcerers. That was crazy to me.
And because and Screwface, like he's all about it because he's telling everybody, he's like, I see everything, I'm everywhere. And then there's this one part where he's like, he's walking out the room, and then he comes from behind the guy, and he's throwing the bones, but then the chick was throwing like shells.
Yeah, he's shaking them. Oh man, there's a lot of Puff Diddy.
But I think personally, like you said, the scariest thing is someone holding the fully auto. You know what I'm saying? The fully auto is scarier than all that because they street sweeping. Man. Come on.
So then after the sister's daughter gets shot, then Atcha takes it seriously because my man told her earlier, Keith Davis said, man, you got to protect your own.
Yeah.
And then finally my man gets mobilized, and it's wild because they do pull an assault on the Jamaican hideout. And this is the crazy part of the film, which I think I appreciate this from a bad guy standpoint, because he goes up in there and basically he fights Screwface. He starts attacking their little headquarters hideouts and stuff like that. Yeah. The goons, which is great. I love that shit, man, because there's that one scene when they're shaking out on one dude and the dude is like, he's like, tell me, man, where's he at? Whatever. He's like, man, you find him himself. If I tell you, Screwface give me a death 10 times more than whatever the fuck.
Yeah, they jumps out the window.
So I love that shit. My man, he was like, fuck, I don't know. I'm gonna run.
You know what I like best is once they start, like I said, they're hitting all the low level goons, and then once it's time to level up, there is like the let's get tooled up montage that we see.
I love that.
And it's so cool because they're getting tooled up and they're making bullets as if like we see the same thing happening in werewolf movies.
Yeah, they're going to fight vampires.
I was like, where's the silver bullets at? I mean, my man is putting the little X's in the bullets, and I mean they're cleaning out all the guns.
Is a regular shotgun not good enough? Or
right, no, they got to saw the tip off real quick. It's like, this will help kill more bad guys. I mean, it's like, I was like, dude, why is this necessary? They got the cool 80s music playing.
The film. The film just has so much cliche and tropes, man.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's one thing that didn't hit the mark with this. It's like in this style of film, they are full of punchlines, and Seagal he can land a kick, but he couldn't land a punchline to save his life.
Jamaicans had bars though, man.
The Jamaicans they were bars. Hitting it.
They was getting it.
Like okay, for instance, like there's a part where Steven Seagal pulls up. Once him and Keith David, they're ready to start taking them on and stuff. They pull up in the truck, and the dude's like, "Yeah, what do you want? You want some blow?" And Steven Seagal pulls out a gun. He's like, "Yeah, show me your hands, or I'm gonna blow you away." The fuck? The fuck you doing, Steven Seagal?
You know what? They didn't have time to write that up like they did with the Schwarzeneggers. The Schwarzenegger was making more money, so they probably would have worked on that line of maybe a couple more takes to get it right, But Seagal wasn't there, yo. I don't think he ever really got there, but he wasn't there yet.
No, he wasn't.
But you know what was wild to me, man? Damn, I lost my thought, man.
Well, while you find that, what else is wild to me is that also Steven Seagal was in charge of his wardrobe. Okay, like that was in his contract.
So you should own the whole movie.
He was in charge of his wardrobe. There's one part where you see where he goes to the bar and he's wearing like the tiger print shirt, and the director was like, "This doesn't fit the style of your character." Like he was like, "No," and because in real life, apparently that was a souvenir that he got when him and his wife or significant other went out to some vacation spot, Costa Rica or something, and he said it was very sentimental to him, and he wanted to show how much it meant to him by wearing it in the film.
Man, I'm looking at the wardrobe. Speaking of one of the Jamaicans, he got on like the Beetlejuice suit.
Yeah,
like, what is going on?
Dude, there's one part where Screwface, he's got like it looked like a cross colors shirt, but it was just like it was all over the place.
That one lady was fine though. The one that was like, yeah, I partied with him a couple of times. Yo, her accent was bad too. It was just she couldn't have been Jamaican, bro. This joint, what's that song that was coming? Too cool. I don't know what the hell they said, but I love that part though.
Another thing that I learned is you talked about how Steven Seagal in this, he's the only one who seems to have hands.
Yeah.
Do you know? Okay, so in his in his films, all of his films that he did were released by Warner Brothers, except for this one. This is 20th Century Fox. And the thing of it is that in Warner Brothers, it's written in his contract that no one hits Seagal. Like he's just ultimate ass kicker.
That's not even good.
So in this being a 20th Century Fox film, the producers and everybody and the director, they were told like, yo, in the end fight with him and Screwface, we want him to get twapped up a little bit to show that he's, human too. So, and he was kind of opposed by that, but he didn't like it.
So the music thing here, though, I think with the bad guy, though, and I think was really cool was that there's actually two of them. Screwface is twin brother.
What?
Because when they go to Jamaica and he actually kills Screwface, and you're like,
he chops his head off, and then brings it back home. Like you had a head in the bag, and then you go to the guys like, hey man, we killed your leader. Look, so you guys stop what you're doing now.
Yeah, but that's not enough. He's still...
No, it's not enough because Screwface still alive.
The thing is, she didn't say it exactly how I would have said it. She was like, he's got 2 heads, 2 eyes, 4 ears. See?
But so I wonder what his name was. So if there's... Like is there like Screwface and then his twin's name is like Screwball?
I don't know. Screwed up
Screwdriver. You know what I mean?
But it's wild. But I thought that was clever because when I watched it as a kid, I'm like, he dead. Why the movie ain't over? And then the joke again, I'm like, so which was kind of cool. But then it kind of explains the hole that he had because I don't even think I don't think his guys knew that.
I guess not.
Which is dumb, but some chick.
Well, one Screwface was running Jamaica, one Screwface was running.
But some
Chicago,
chick that he's sleeping with figured it out. Like that's funny to me.
Yeah, man.
And he let her live. It's another hole in the bucket.
Gosh, yeah. I mean, there's a lot.
Okay, another part that I do like is though when they do go to Jamaica and they tool up because that's when they get my man Charles. Who's been working with the police, but they convinced this man with a good government job to fuck it up and go fuck around with these 2 dudes. You know what I'm saying?
And in the midst of the melee, he's the only one who gets hurt.
This is crazy to me.
He's the one who gets hurt.
Who is our heroic trio? A retired cop. A high school football coach and a forensics cop. Like this is crazy to me.
Yes. Let's go take down a whole gang.
How the hell did they get in and out of Jamaica with guns and shit?
Well, because Tom Atkins had the accent.
No,
I don't know, man.
Tom Wright.
Tom Wright. There you go. Charles. Yes,
man,
he had the accent.
Oh my god, this don't make no sense. This is like when Matrix went to Cuba. Or was he in Cuba when he fought my man?
I think so.
Yeah, because
Radon Chong had to fly out of left field. He snuck in.
No flight clearances, no customs, no it's
and that's
crazy,
the thing.
man.
Like when it comes to like all these other action films, like they as wild as they are, there's still some kind of way to connect the dots. Whereas this one,
not always. This one just has more obvious dot connection failures than some of the others. I just think that's what stands out with this because think of even Commando we talked about a little while. That has some plot holes.
Oh yeah, big time.
But I think that's such a much better film than this that we let it go. But
I think pretty much any other one that we're talking about. I mean, you look at Action Jackson; that had a lot of plot holes as well. Yeah, but it was still it was a little more fine tuned than this.
Yeah, it's still. I think that was a more entertaining in a lot of ways. Yo, that's the Terminator dude. I just noticed that the doctor is the doctor that didn't believe Sarah Connor in this movie. Yo, all right, I gotta add another half a star for that, man.
There you go. Oh, the one that in part 2 she stabbed him with the pen.
Yeah, that's the dude.
Wow.
Yo, he said, my man Seagal said, treat her like the president.
You hear me? Like the president. I'm like, what?
But we've seen that before in some movies, man. Let me find out Steven Seagal was acting like John Q.
I just read something else too. You know the car chase scene when he dropped that terrible punchline about the blow. They said that was inspired by the French Connection.
Inspired by, I mean, a lot of things are inspired by things that don't help them.
I don't know how you take one of the best car chase scenes in film history.
Yeah. I don't know, man. This film is just what it is, man. It is. I feel like for me, because I like some things that are bad. Like they tried to make a good movie here, but the cracks are where I find my amusement because it doesn't do anything particularly well at all. No. It's almost like we're watching the Seagal fight King Willie's voodoo posse from Predator 2.
Dude, I'm so glad. I read another cliff note. They said that Steven Seagal would repeatedly call the set of Predator 2 and like pretty much gloat about, or not the set, I'm sorry, the director, and gloat about how this film did better than Predator 2.
Did it do better? It probably did.
It did, numbers wise.
They were probably neck and neck home video. Maybe not, but
yeah, because
like I said,
this one it hit. It was a $12 million budget, and it grossed theater wise $58 million. So I mean, it was
barely. Box office on Predator 2 was 57.1.
Yeah.
So, but like I said,
but that was something for him to hold on to, and that just you know is a testament
I think
of
Predator
his
2.
assholism.
Yeah, he's an asshole. Yo, did you hear? Speaking of bad Jamaican accents, have you ever heard his Jamaican song that he made with Lady Saw about the Punani?
Steven Seagal has a Jamaican song.
Yes, dude. I'm gonna bring this thing up.
Way.
I'm gonna play.
No way.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
About
he made a whole album. He made an album, but he has Lady Saw, one of the greatest Jamaican artists ever, and he got her on the song about the Punani, man. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy, man. It's oh, there we go.
It's the Steven Seagal, fly down to Jamaica and say one of the baddest girl. So them ladies talk, I don't know me. You see me? So me want the body if you make me feel nice. Why? Tell me what you really all night. Me want the punani if you make me nice. Me want the body, me want the punani. I'm you ain't nice. So
start to strut, you could never, you shouldn't do that.
Oh my God! Is this really Seagal? Is this really him?
Yes! Look at the cover!
Oh my God!
Alright, that's enough, man. Before they take us off here.
Oh my God!
I want to get a copyright strike.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
Oh.
This is a wild boy, man.
That happened.
Seagal is crazy.
Wow.
Seagal might be one of the worst human beings to ever become a movie star. Like
yes.
He's up there. He's one of the worst ones just because if you look into his personal life, he's an asshole.
Yes.
DMX called him a jerk. I think he tried to hit on DMX's wife when they worked on Cradle to the Grave.
Oh, geez.
You can find that clip somewhere. DMX called him a jerk. A lot of people work with him, just don't have good stories
hard to work with.
about him.
Yeah.
Also, he has a few sexual misconduct and assault accusations.
I'm not surprised.
As well in his record.
I'm not surprised.
So, that's there too.
And then also, it's like you remember. I think it was a few years back, if I'm correct. After his movie career just pretty much sunk all the way down, didn't he become some kind of like bounty hunter or something like that?
No, he's a deputy police officer in Louisiana, in New Orleans, and
so
I ain't even gonna front, bro.
So he's a scumbag cop in real life.
That was one of the best things I ever watched when Netflix first hit. Steven Seagal Lawman. If you could find episodes of that, it is beautiful.
God.
It's amazing because you get to see him being him in real life, and some of it is shitty. Like it's funny because the show would have this Seagal vision that they would go into whenever he detected crime, and a lot of times there's like several times on that show where he stopped somebody and they ended up being for nothing. He's like, okay, you guys, and I'm just looking like, and on one hand I get the people, they're like, oh my God, ain't you Steven Seagal? Me versus. Motherfucker, you pulled me over.
Fuck you, you're a cop. What you pull me over for?
You just
give a fuck who you are.
So it's
first thing first. What you pull me over for?
But I will say, man, it's a great watch. He's a piece of shit, but it's so fucking funny watching him sit there and be like. It's one of the ones. This kind of helped expose me of this guy's character in a way, like I said.
But I've never seen it. I could tell that he was a douche just by watching him on screen.
You might catch episodes on YouTube. I know Netflix had it early in its early days. It might be streaming somewhere, but it is worth a watch, man. He's problematic, but at the same time, watching that it sheds a light on just hubris and someone that's a narcissist and just out of control ego, man. It's crazy because it's funny because there are people that he encounters in the show that genuinely love him. He does take the time to stop it and take pictures with the kids but then at the same time you just
just stroking his ego.
You're looking at some of this shit like, man, that's a jerk ass move.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Oh,
this is crazy,
God,
bro. And this is what this film is. This is crazy. Can I say it's a good flick?
No.
Can I say it's entertaining? Bruh, for me, on the entertainment scale, this shit like a 4, because it's just nutty. Like, this movie, maybe not specifically with Jamaicans, but this movie was probably made 100 times in this era.
Absolutely.
VHS. There's probably ones that we've never seen. starring guys we never heard of again. And it's just like seeing what sticks. And you find a guy who has a hit, and then you just build, not necessarily a franchise, but you franchise the actor himself.
Yeah. And I mean, and not for nothing, you know, those that didn't grow up in the era, the late 80s, early 90s, everybody loved a ninja. Like, there was remember like American Ninja, or
he wasn't even a ninja in this.
I mean, but he knows karate. That's what sold it for him, is the fact that he knew martial arts. Everybody wanted to watch somebody do martial arts in some kind of way. Like, it was like hands-on combat, this thirst for blood that we had.
Women was attracted to this dude, believe it or not, with his little ponytail. And so many times I've seen, and I'm overhearing aunties and mamas saying, "Oh my God, he fitting." And you know what I'm saying? As they would say back in the day, he fine. You know, so it's like, who the fuck knows what was working? He was, whatever it was, he had it, and he had to run.
He had to run. I give him that. He had to run.
But let's wrap this up, man. Let's run up out of here, because we're going too long for a movie that's this silly. But yeah, man, check it out. If you haven't seen it, I still advise you to. And if you're like me, I watch this thing like 3 or 4 times a year, man. I just put it on for background fodder. It's not like I'm intently playing, you know, but then I pick up strange things that don't add up every time I watch it, man, and I enjoy it for that, man. Sometimes bad filmmaking can be fun and entertaining in its own way.
For me, I feel like, you know, if you haven't seen it yet, once is enough. Find the fun in it. You don't watch this one with a critical lens, otherwise it will not be enjoyable. But yeah, if you haven't seen it, check it out. Or if you saw it, you know, when you were at a different phase in your life, be it if you were younger or whatever the case may be, see how it hits you now. You know what I'm saying? It's not one that you want to dissect with a fine-tooth comb, but you can have fun with it. There is a lot of material when it comes to this film to laugh at and get enjoyment out of. And it's not really the longest movie. I think it's about a little over an hour and a half. So, you know, we got that going.
Yeah, man. But with that said, man, I think we're gonna wrap this up, folks, man. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you support us, man. We got some merch for sale, man. Subscribe, tell all your friends about us. Turn on notifications, man. That helps a whole lot, so you guys know when this stuff's coming out, so you can know to watch it and click on it. And that's about it, man. I'm Monk. You catch me at Monkey Blood on Twitter, Instagram. We do have a Instagram page, Classics of Cinematics on Instagram. You know, sometimes I'll post, you know, screenshots and posters and stuff like that. Just all funny clips and stuff, man, you know, that I find from these films.
That's what I'm talking about. And this Bobby Blockbuster, as always, you can catch me on the next show.